Hello and welcome to today's math lesson. You're going to be working on the language of time. This is when we don't just read a clock and say the time, we speak the language of the time like we would when we talk to other people. Instead of saying 8:30, we might say it's 8:30. And instead of saying it's 1:45, we might say it's 1:45, or it's 10 after 3, or 20 to 9, things like that. Instead of just reading the clock directly as it is, we definitely speak a language of time. It's not just important for school, but important so that you can talk to other people, because lots of people talk this way. Bye, guys. Hello and welcome to the language of telling time. Learning to read analog and digital clocks is the first step to speaking the language of time. The next step is to learn to use the terms we typically use when saying the time in everyday life. Like o'clock. It is 1:00. Past. For after the hour until the half hour, we say past. For example, it's 20 past 7. So instead of saying it's 7:20, a lot of times people will say it's 20 past 7. Another one we use with past is the quarter hour. When you divide a clock up into fourths, remember when I drew on the one in class? That shows you 1/4 of an hour is a quarter, not money, not 25 cents as we talked about. 1/4. Imagine how that fraction on this picture looks like a fourth, and it's past the hour, so it's a quarter past. So here's how you would say it. Instead of saying 10:15, you could say it's 10:15. This next one, the clock says 9:30. But the clock is also showing that it's halfway around. So we might also say 9:30 as it's 9:30. 2. When it's in the 30 minutes on the second half of the clock, on the way up to the new hour, we say to, or some people say till or until. We're going to use to. So on this one, the real time, if you just read it, is 4:35. Now, let's look at how we can use the time before. It's 25 to 5. So, look at the green minute hand. In 25 minutes, it'll be at the next hour, which is 5. So, it's 25 to 5. We can also use quarters for the 2. Right now, we've gone 3/4 of the way around and we have 1/4 left. So, it's 1/4 to 1. It is 12:45. Again, 12:45 is 15 minutes until 1, so we could say 1/4 to 1. Now it's your turn. I'm going to show you the clock, and we're going to say what the time is and how else we might say it. So, say it the regular way first. Did you say 7:30? What's another way to say this that's very common in the language of time? Did you think 7:30? If so, you're getting it. Here's another one. Let's read the clock the regular way. Did you say 11:10? Now, how else could we say that using our new language of time words? Did you think 10 after 11 or 10 minutes after 11? If so, great job. Ooh, let's look at this one. First off, we're going to read it like a regular clock. You ready? 7:45. Now, what's the new, let's say, fancy way to say this time? There's two of them. Okay, if you were thinking the one that uses minutes before, you could say it is 15 minutes to 8, or 15 minutes before 8, or 15 minutes until 8. Was anyone thinking the fraction way? If not, take a second to think about it now. Ready? A quarter to 8. A quarter to 8. Or a quarter till 8. Lots of people like to say till. I'm one of those people. All right, next one. This one, the way we read it for the regular clock way and the way we say it's the same. You ready? 1 o'clock. Here's another one. Reading it the regular clock way. Be careful. It's almost the next hour, so don't count the next hour yet. So the regular clock would say 4:55. Now, how else could we say that? Look, it's almost the hour. It's just a little before. So do the minutes until the next hour. 5 minutes till 5, or 5 minutes to 5. Next one. Okay, reading it the regular clock way, 5:15. Now, how else could we say it? And there's two different ways. One way says the minutes, and one way says the fractional way. Ready? For the minute way, 15 after 5, or 15 past 5. And the fractional way would be a quarter after 5, or a quarter past 5. Next one. Look at and read the clock the regular way. What time is it? 9:20. How else could we say this? You ready? 20 after 9, or 20 past 9. Okay, one more. Read the clock the normal way first. Ready? 2:35. Now, how else could we say it using our new language vocabulary? If you're not sure, look, it's in the second half of the clock and working its way up to or until the next hour. There's your hint. You ready? If you're still not sure, count how many minutes until it gets back up to the 12. Count by fives real quick. You should have gotten 25 minutes. It's 25 minutes before it gets up to the next hour, which the next hour is going to be 3. So it is 25 minutes to 3, or 25 minutes before 3, or 25 minutes until 3. There's a few different ways besides what the beginning of this lesson had told us. I tend to say after instead of past, or before instead of to, or I do say until a lot. But these are all the ways that people talk, and so you've got to become very familiar with all the different ways, because you just never know who's going to say it what way, right? All right, that is the end. My challenge to you is to start practicing by reading various types of clocks and say the time out loud in many different ways.